You're listening to Mr. Credit on San Diego 1700 with local credit expert Derek Evans. Now, live in studio, Mr. Credit.
Welcome to Mr. Credit right here on San Diego 1700. We are live and local in San Diego, broadcasting out of Sereno Valley, Cox Communications building. Welcome to the most important hour on radio in the land, where we're telling you everything that they don't want you to know about the way that consumer credit scoring works, about the extensive levels of corruption and greed within the credit bureaus, the major banks, and now even spilling over into the government. Shoot me an email if you want. Just go to MrCreditRadio.com, click on the contact button. You can also reach out to my educational video library there at the bottom of the page, or do a Facebook search for Mr. Credit if you want to get in touch with me. You can also listen to all the San Diego Padres games right here on San Diego 1700. Got another big win last night, and now we have a game and a half lead over the Giants. We got the Dodgers coming in town. We got some good things going on. I'll give you more information about that later. Today, we're going to be talking about loan modifications and some interesting things going on in the mortgage markets with local expert Ed Paula, who's in the studio. Ed, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We're also going to be talking about some different things that are happening with debt settlement companies. There's some tighter litigation that's going on. I've got a couple things to read to you about that. Also, we're going to tell you the story of a man who got completely fed up with the credit bureaus. You won't believe this true live story. It's just one of those things that just knock your socks off. But it's something that I've got to bring to you because I need you to understand the way this stuff works, how people are treated, and why that's the case. So first, we're going to look at a story that came out earlier this morning. Actually, I think it might have been late last night, but either way, this is coming out of New York, and the headline is, April credit card data shows fewer late payments. Okay, so it says that the credit card data is showing that fewer people are making late payments. That's what they want you to believe. Now listen to the story. In New York, more consumers paid their credit card bills on time in April. In another sign, the fledgling economic recovery may be picking up some steam. Capital One, Discover, American Express, Chase, and Citibank all said the rate at which they wrote off unpaid credit card bills fell last month. Several lenders saw improvement for the second straight month. Now, let's pay close attention to what they're actually saying there. Now, this is Capital One, Discover, American Express, Chase, and Citibank all said the rate at which they wrote off unpaid credit card bills. Now, the truth is, when a credit card company writes off an unpaid credit card bill, that means they're basically sending you to collections. They're saying, we're not going to recover this money. We're going to write it off for our accounting purposes and send it to a third party to collect the bill. Now, this is conflicting with the headline. The headline says that there are fewer late payments, but the rate at which these things are written off doesn't have anything to do with the rate at which people are paying late. This is a conscious decision by these specific credit card companies not to send these items to collection. Okay, it has nothing to do with the facts. It's something that's completely arbitrary. They can choose to do it, or they can choose not to do it. So the fact that they're all choosing not to do it, while that may in itself be a sign that the economy is recovering or that they're gaining confidence as big companies, it also might be for the sake that they don't want to take those losses. They don't want to take those losses and have to then report those losses. Okay, these are publicly traded companies. Maybe they don't want to take those losses on their books and then show them to you that they're taking these losses and reduce profits and lower stock prices and so forth. So there could be other motives besides the fact that people are paying late. So this is absolutely incorrect. The first two paragraphs are all I need to read to know that. More consumers paid their credit card bills on time. How can we conclude that from what was actually said here? Which is that these banks all said the rate at which they wrote off unpaid credit card bills fell. Has nothing to do with one or the other. Now, you have to be very keen on the way that this system works in order to understand that and get that from the story. And that's the reason I'm bringing it to you, because you're not going to catch this. All you're going to see when you're scrolling through online or looking at Yahoo News or whatever it may be is that April credit card data shows fewer late payments. Now, if you're a consumer out there and you're making late payments right now, that's not going to make you feel so great. That's going to make you feel like what? Maybe that you should be paying your credit card bills too. Perhaps another hidden agenda that's involved in what's going on. So don't believe everything you see in the news, especially when it comes to credit, anything that has to do with the big banks. They have a very specific objective, and that is to make money from you. That's their goal, and they will do anything they can to do it. And it'll go much further than just reporting a story that's 100% incorrect. So I need you to understand the reality of the situation. Now, getting to the world of loan modifications and real estate, we do have Ed Paula in the studio from 4R Real Estate Investments. Ed, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
So you said you've got some really cool stuff that's happening now. There's a couple of new programs that are out there. We've got to make people aware of this. This is just great stuff.
Yeah. Within the last month, there's been a ton of improvements and a lot of confidence in the real estate market. I think San Diego, I was reading papers, up 15% from last year. Home values, median home prices are up from 300 to 375 within the last year. So
big
so
gains.
there's with that being said, now there's a lot of lenders that want to jump in and start lending now, and they see that, you know, a couple of programs that can help people come through. There's one brand new one that just came out, and it's, you know, it got me excited, and definitely wanted to share with the viewers. Is it's called the Homeowner Mortgage Restructuring Plan.
Okay.
And what that is a lender will lend money to a delinquent borrower based on the new home value. So they're going to give you a mortgage based on your new home value, which is awesome.
Is this for a refinance?
Yes. Well, it's restructuring your loan. You get a new loan with a new lender, and they take over your pre-existing loan at the new value, and the negative deficiency balance is forgiven.
So it's forgiving a balance, a deficiency balance.
Correct.
I wonder if there's any debt forgiveness income that's involved in that or not. Do we know if that's the case?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is included.
So there might be
Correct.
some debt forgiveness income in there, but what a small price to pay to actually be able to refinance if you otherwise couldn't. Now, what are some of the rules on qualifying for that?
You have to be more than 2 months late, and your value, you have to be negative 20% above your value. So you have to be above 120% loan to value.
Okay, so if you were hit really hard by, you know, the down real estate market, you're in your home, you want to stay in there, and this is why, you know, Ed is such a great resource. And by the way, you have to give him a call if you're looking at any of these things. If you're having trouble making your payments, or you want to stay in your home, or you want to refinance, anything along those lines, 866-870-8282, 866-870-8282, and you can speak with Ed directly. And, you know, the reason that I bring that up is because there's so many different ways to stay in your home, and that's what people really want to do. They don't want to leave their home. You know, they don't want to foreclose. They don't want a short sale. They want to stay there. A home is, you know, while it's an investment, you know, for many, it's the place where you live, where you lay down at night. And it's hard to navigate all the different things that are going on, which is why I like to bring you professionals like Ed into the studio so that you can understand these things. So let's think of a scenario where someone would want to look into this type of program. Who is it out there? What are they experiencing right now that this would be a perfect fit for? Well,
first off, you have to qualify, so you have to have income coming in. So you would need to meet the guidelines, income verification, the whole 9 yards. You're applying for a whole new loan. So the same underwriting process that you would go through when you would refinance or when you purchase your home, you're going to go through that same process as well.
Okay, so for the most part, then it's really designed for people who could refinance if it weren't for the fact that their home is upside down so much.
Correct. And also, I hear a lot of stories, and I've dealt with clients of mine who make too much money for a loan mod. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Sure. Yeah.
So that it's kind of designed for them, because when you throw your financials at the Making Home Affordable program, you have to be about 38% debt to income ratio. So if you are less than that, then you make too much money for the program, and therefore, we spoke about this the last segment, your payment increases, which we don't want.
Right.
So this is basically this came up after those issues were basically this covers those problems that we were facing before.
I see.
So it's huge.
This bridges the gap, basically. I mean, it's just it's a way for you to save some money when it comes down to it. Now, a lot of people are in that position where they're looking at, all right, here's what I owe on the home, here's the payment. Gosh, you know, we can make the payment, but it's just tough for us to every month feel like we're throwing this money away to equity that doesn't exist. You know, part of what's beautiful about owning a home is that not only do you get to write off the interest on the mortgage payment that you make, but you also, you know, the principal that you're paying goes to reduce your balance and essentially is kind of a savings. And so that's why owning a home is so advantageous over long periods of time for people. But in a situation like this, if you purchase at the wrong time, right before a crash in, let's say, 05, 06, 07, the market took a big hit, now you're in a situation where you have to make a decision.